Hello and welcome to Chasing Retro. My name is Meg and I started off the video with a little shop with me B-roll footage. I love doing that when I can. My husband's birthday was a couple of weeks ago, but our family has been so busy that we didn't really get to have a special day of fun with him. So yesterday we spent some time doing what he wanted to do, and honestly what he really wanted to do was to go to some yard sales, estate sales, and a store, like an antique store that has music. I said yesterday, I'm filming this on Sunday, but I'm going to post it Monday. So we did this on Saturday. He is, well, we both love music, but we grew up in the 80s and 90s, so our high school years, our pivotal music years were 90s, and we got into lots of different genres of music in that time. And he's kind of going old school and going back to CDs. We've been Spotify users for several years, and we also have a lot of vinyl, but those are harder to find in that era, and they're much pricier. So both of us have CD changers in our car. So we are always scouting for cheap CDs, and that's what he really wanted to do for his birthday outing, was to go to some yard and estate sales for CDs, as well as an antique store that's about an hour away that does have CDs. And of course I was happy to oblige that, because I can always find treasures at all of those places as well. That was a very long introduction. So you didn't really see what I picked up at the antique store. I don't think I filmed any of it, but I'll show you that first. Let me know what your favorite item was that I was able to film. I sort of focused in on the more nostalgic things for my era, from the 80s and 90s. I found some toys that I had forgotten about. And I do have several favorite booths in that store, so I tried to show a couple of films of those items in those. But I did walk away with about $14 worth of items from this antique store. I love it. I love going there. Normally I find more, but I was being very choosy yesterday, or Saturday rather. The first thing I found was New Kids on the Block Topps cards. These were $1, and I was not a big New Kids on the Block fan. I mean, speaking of music, my best friend was. Oh my goodness, she loved them, went to their concerts and all that. I plan to work on some 80s journals at some point later this year, maybe late summer. And so I thought this would be a fun little addition. And for $1, I figured, why not? I found this Telltale book. I paid $3.50 for it, which I didn't think was terrible for an antique store. That's about how much you would pay on eBay. I did not look in it before I bought it. Turns out it's basically a book about animals. So there's only a couple of pictures of the baby on the first page, and actually not even the last page. This is ripped. I don't know. I am assuming that there is a page missing. No, actually there's not. That comes from that. This is the end of the book, and the whole book is like a riddle talking about a baby elephant. So I will not probably use the story pages for a baby journal, but I mainly got it for the cover because it is an adorable baby journal cover. Just the way this style is my favorite type of art. But the inside images, of course, can be used for ephemera for many other things. There is a little bit of pen mark, but not terrible. I found one booth that was closing out, and I did pay a little more for this than I really wanted to. I think these were $4, maybe $6 for this whole bag. I did not need any more green stamps, but I got it for these. I had never seen these before, and they're little Scottish dancers. And so I knew I had to have these for my future Scotland journals. I thought they were adorable. Some of them are red and some are purple. So, got that bag of Saver stamps. In the same booth, I found this. I think I was charged $4 for this. Everything total was 14. So this, of course, can be used in my vintage retail journal. So the envelope itself, though very eaten up with something, it will be useful in ephemera for that. There's nothing on the back. So that's very brittle. I need to put that in a safe place till I make something out of it. This was inside, and of course the map is in here too. It was basically a world map that you could get for 39 cents with these cookies. And I looked up the cookies on eBay. The cookie boxes for Burry's Cookies, because they made Howdy Doody cookies, the boxes are going for several $100s, which is crazy to me. But I was glad to have this little piece of ephemera from the brand. So you could get this map framed if you wanted to for, you know, $6 to $11. But I got the map because I didn't really need any more maps, but the coloring in this map was so vivid. Normally I feel like maps are just kind of boring colors. This one had I loved the way it was shaded, and I loved the bright colors. Let's see if I can put this in here without knocking everything off my desk. Oh goodness, it's getting hot. Here we go. Australia is actually quite nice. It's a coral color. And it's huge. I mean, I don't know, maybe 6 feet wide. And then here's some more. Yeah, so lovely. And I'll be able to cut this up. The folds are almost exactly 8.5 by 11. So I can just cut it into squares and mount it onto white cardstock and make some pretty cool ephemera with it. Folding a map back is always difficult. I don't even think I did this correctly, and it's not even as hard to fold as a glove box map, but oh well. I will deal with this later. Hilarious. This was in there, but I don't think it was supposed to be. I think whoever had this just stored it together. This was a free gift from your Prudential insurance agent. And it is epic. Vintage Space. Let me see if I can open it and show you guys. This one was harder to open because it was super creased right here, and it has some water damage too. Okay. I'll start on the left and pan to the right. Unfortunately, whatever ate on this ate through the astronaut's face, so I don't have him. See, he's damaged, but it shows how heavy you would be on each planet and how high you could jump. So I thought that was super neat. And then this space station, space taxi. I don't know what year this is. Neither of these items had a year on it. They're talking about having a settlement on the moon down here. The types of things that one would find in each layer of our atmosphere that's put there by scientists. And then inside the envelope, this fell out also. This was probably just thrown in there. It's a little glassine bag. Compliments of Ripley. And it's a personalized emblem patch. I don't know what that means. I don't know if this is like a family crest or what, but that was a little bonus. And then I got 2 books. This one was free. Pretty much all of their faith-based books are free. So I found this one. She is one of my favorite people. This is another one of her memoirs. So I plan to read this, and then my dad wants to read it when I'm done. And then I bought this one. I've been wanting this book for a while, and I'd rather give my money to a store like that than Amazon. But it's recently published, I think, republished. It's got that waxy type cover. But this is her own memoir, and it tells all the way to when they set up the inn in Vermont. So got some summer reading. While we are on the subject of books, I'll show you what I found at the yard sale. We went to one yard sale. It was the yard sale of the son of a former professor at the university near me who taught English literature. So, oh my goodness, if you're an English literature lover, this would have been the yard sale of all yard sales. All the books were $1, and they were, I mean, treasures. Not only literature, but also ancient and European art, Renaissance type stuff, full, like large books with full color pictures. That's not really my style for junk journaling, so I did not get any of that. But there was one man that was so excited, and he was just putting books into boxes. So I was very happy for him. I did pick up 2 books though. I found this one. My son used to love reading these books. They're very detailed. He read a lot of these books that had the detailed structural breakdown images of things. I think this guy also did one about spaceships or airplanes or something like that. But it's just pen and ink, and it's beautiful. And I thought these would be beautiful pages to add to journals. Not necessarily a theme, but just an eclectic journal. And then I got this one for my Scottish journals, of course. When my kids were little, I used to check this series out from the library. This guy wrote and illustrated several of them for capital and notorious cities in Europe, maybe worldwide, I don't know. So whenever we would study a country, I would go pick up his version of the book for that city. But the illustrations are just so charming. And I will enjoy using this as ephemera for my Scottish journals. If you have never heard of M. Sasek, please look him up if you are wanting to do a journal in the theme of or a setting of a town in Europe. He has London, he has Paris, Rome. I'm pretty sure he has all of the major cities. He may even have some in the US. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at that. Okay, after the yard sale, we went to an estate sale, and this estate sale was the second day. Nothing was really priced except for very large pieces of glassware that were high and furniture. But there were a few things that were just laying around that they said, bring it up, we'll make a deal. It was very, very crowded. It was very not organized at all. I think it was family run. It was not owned by run by a corporation that does estate sales. So it was a little chaotic. I kept losing my husband in the house. But I was able to find a few things. I believe I paid $8 for all of this, and I'll show you what I found. I'm not even sure what's inside the sewing box because I only peeked, and it was, I didn't want to like get down on the floor and take everything out, but I grabbed these towels. These were actually in the carport in a tote, and they were sort of being used to cushion plates inside of the tote. So I don't even think they knew they were in there, or no one had even unearthed that tote yet to buy the dishes. So I just started moving the dishes aside and grabbing the towels. And they let me buy them. They are not super old. I'm guessing 80s, maybe late 70s. They're also not super high quality. I don't think they're Canon or anything like that. But for decorative use, just, having on a towel bar as an accent towel. They're not bath sheets. They're just the very small bath towels. I thought they were very pretty. I don't see a tag at all. So I got 2 of the corals. And then I got a yellow one with butterflies. This one does look 70s to me. Loving it. Now, they did have a blue one, and my heart kind of skipped a beat. So I dug down to get to the blue one, and I thought it had flowers and birds on it. But when I lifted it out, it had ducks. And not the cute 80s geese. It was like mallards. And I thought that was really weird with a turquoise and powder blue towel. So I did not get that one, but I did grab these 3. Very excited about them. Also at the estate sale, I found this mirror tray, and this was, I think, $1. And the reason I love these trays, my daughter and I both have vanities, and I love putting them on vanities for our perfumes and things like that. I cannot remember if my daughter had one of these yet or not, so I just grabbed it. It was a good price. I have a rectangle one that my mom gave me, but this is beautiful. It reminds me of a Greek wreath, like the Olympic wreath, so pick that up. Okay, here is the very dusty, very dirty sewing box. It is a large plastic sewing box, and it has some decorations. As you can see, the lid is broken. Looks like somebody set something very heavy on top of it, which was kind of sad. So I will not be able to use this box unless you guys can think of a way I can salvage it. I don't think it's salvageable. It is in poor shape. But I got it because of what was inside. And I've seen a few of the pieces, but I wanted to go through it with you. Hopefully there's not any like dead bugs in here. We'll see. This little tiny box had some buttons and a very large needle and a threader. This is not even sewing related, but I was so excited. This little pack of postcards, Christmas postcards. I guess they're all the same. Yep. Add that to my Christmas stash. And this. There's glitter on here. I hope that's glitter. It's something that's kind of powdery and it's sparkly, so this is, I don't know who makes this. I've seen these before, but they're just so cute. So I guess this family sent Christmas postcards out every year instead of whole greeting cards with envelopes. Okay, there were some sewing patterns in here. Got this little bell bottom and dress combo. This is, the directions are behind it. This is, I love this one. And it's honestly in pretty good shape. Preteen, polyester looking. Oh, no, we have some charge card payments. We will not pull those out. Oops. Yeah, this is just the instructions for that. I have this one. I don't like using the patterns with the real pictures as journals, so I'll probably just fussy cut her out and use her as an embellishment and toss the rest. This one's pretty epic. It's very hippie looking. Wow. These are pretty intense. I like them though. Okay, then we have some fabric. Probably will not use black. It's like a satiny, it's not true satin, it's a polyester blend, but it's black. And then we have a camo handkerchief. I will be donating that. I have no use for a camo. We have, someone had started some crewel, it looks like, and given up very early. And this feels like car upholstery. I don't know what it is. Another envelope. Here's that embroidery hoop. We have some very 80s looking ruffle in here. I bet these are for wreaths. Do y'all remember those wreaths with the styrofoam form? That's what it looks like to me. Or maybe a trim for a towel. That would actually be really cute on a towel. Honestly, you know what else it would be cute on? The bottom hem of blue jeans. I've been wanting to do that with some jeans. These might be perfect for that. If you have a pair of jeans that's just a little too short. Sewing thread in a Revco package. Super cool. More patterns. Very flower power, these patterns are. Oh, look, I had this one and I made a journal out of it last fall. Or it may have been before fall. It might have been last summer. Mini skirts and looks like culottes. Cute top. These look like they were not even used. I think they were bought and never used. Another one of those trim pieces. And then in the bottom of the thing, I see some thread zippers. A lot of these little travel threads, which I don't really use to sew. I'll take them off the roll and use in clusters. Sort of like ball it up in little, you know, rat's nest kind of thing and put it behind a card in a cluster. That's a great way to use that thread. I have some tracing paper. I don't think I have any this small, so that's neat. Look, this is really funny. I've actually been wanting some of these. I have two shoehorns. And anything else that I can show y'all? The rest of it's kind of boring, just thread. No more button cards or anything fun. Yeah. And then of course I'll toss the box. I hate that, but at least I have it on video. The last thing that was in here is very random. It is a work excuse pad from a doctor's office. And that's something you don't really find every day. I don't know why it was in there. I don't think these people were doctors. Different last name, so I am not sure. Maybe it was swiped. I don't know. But yeah, that was the estate sale finds. Last but not least is thrift store. We went to a thrift store that I haven't been to in about a year, but it's near my house. It's just one of those that's always crowded and I don't really feel like going in. They're also somewhat pricier than other thrift stores. They're kind of like Goodwill prices, so but the money does go toward good causes. It's actually some sort of orphanage program in Jamaica, so that's pretty neat. I found this double flat sheet and it was $2.50, which is not bad. Yeah, I was honestly surprised at the price of that. I found this bag of art supplies for $3.95. It looks like we have some watercolors. We have some pretty nice paintbrushes. I needed some more small paintbrushes. That's why I mainly got this. We have some gesso. I have white, but I don't have clear. Extra fine glitter. This is called Color Shift by Folk Art. I think it has a two-tone finish. And this right here is a glossy medium from Deco Art. So yeah, just a fun little bag. I found this. I've heard of Jane Davenport. I know she makes a lot of cool stencils. These are brushes with texture ends, like silicone ends. And so you can create texture in your acrylic paint. I thought that was super neat. This, I'm pretty sure, came from Temu. This is the chiffon edged ribbon. Green is not the color I would have chosen, but it is a nice soft green. And It's so thin that you can honestly use this for tags too, because it'll pull through the little hole. So I grabbed that. This made me laugh. They had these wrapped up together and they called them shop rags. Well, I would not call vintage Canon Monticello structured washcloths shop rags. So without seeing how stained or worn they are, for 95 cents, I thought it was worth trying them out. So I bought 2. I'm gonna wash these in hot water and OxyClean to see what happens. There's a brown one in here too. I remember my grandma had those. And then this one is a blue pack. I think I picked up, oh yeah, I did. This one does have some structure on one side. These look a little more worn, but worst case scenario, I have some cool vintage dusting rags now, so. And this little piece of fabric, not vintage, but looks vintage. It's pink or peachy pink with some mauve, and it was $125. I found this. It's a babysitter's notepad. It's not vintage, but it's cute, and I don't have any ephemera like this. Studio 18, so I don't know where this came from. It looks like something you would find at Five Below, honestly. I got one pattern. I'm gonna have to work to get this off, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm almost positive that I bought the same pattern at the estate sale. Which is really random, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing this in that stack. I got this. I don't know who makes this, but it is a box full of cardstock shapes. So lots of different colors, and we have squares and circles. So for stamping, I love to stamp little images on little circles. I usually just punch them with my square punch and circle punch, but this is such a time saver. For $3.95, I thought it was worth grabbing. If you guys know what this is or who may have made this, let me know. Maybe someone punched them themselves. I don't think so though, because they have these lines. I think they were bought like this. It looks like they were never used. Maybe a little bit of the white was used. You can also sew them together in a row to make belly bands. And last of all, for this, oh no, there's one more thing after this. This is a basket. I love it. It's a little interesting. I love the boho look of the bamboo, but it has a stabilizing basket inside that honestly is very sharp. Maybe that's why someone got rid of it. There's sharp edges. So my husband's gonna have to file those down, but it's just a basket that I thought I could use I needed another basket to put vintage gift wrap and wallpaper rolls down into. And I thought this was a great and attractive option. And it was $3.95, which it's a little high, but the find of the day for me at this thrift store was vintage Tuttle Press wrapping paper. So Tuttle Press, I have an eBay save search on Tuttle Press gift wrap because I love it so much, and it's so nostalgic and just wonderful. And I look at it every day, and most of it's more than I want to pay. Well, y'all, I found partially used, but still a lot on here. 2 rolls of Tuttle Press gift wrap in a very 80s red and green tiny dot print. Isn't that amazing? So if I were to order this on eBay, I would pay $12 to $15, and then to ship this, it would cost another $10 or $12. So I was literally about to do a happy dance when I found these. These remind me of vintage Christmas, of course, but also strawberry shortcake and vintage house and home, and just all the cute little calico type things that I like to create. So I'm very excited about these. My husband was laughing at how excited I got over this gift wrap, but if you guys know, you understand that we get excited over weird things, but that's part of the fun of junk journals. Thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this. In case you're wondering, yes, my husband did also rack up on CDs. You probably don't want to see those, but we got a lot of our old favorite CDs and albums that we enjoyed listening to in high school and college, and we listened to those all the way home. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.